States Army base here in Moses Lake, Washington, where they decommissioned Air Force One and Doomsday. Air Force One was built here at Boeing and Moses Lake Army base, and also the Larson Air Force Base here in Moses Lake, Washington. As you can see, they did a lot of renovating. Business operations, CIMARON5, UBI number 602-720-979. As you can see, the imaging. United States, Moses Lake Army, Army National Guard, Washington Army National Guard. See, that fence line and post was rebuilt. The Moses Lake Army base was built by Felix Barela with the wood from First Lumber Choice in Othello, Washington on the services they were built. A shovel, some posts, alleviating the service of how Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Taliban, and North Providence, and also the immigrants that are across over the border here in Washington State. You got Caliphate, you got policy regulation of the Moses Lake Army, Washington Army National Guard, proving that area, how they confiscated and made things up at a McKenna law firm in 509-765-4451, how they broke the window in. And they have the Army base and the policy regulations making testimony and witnesses at not Washington Army base. Now, Ivanka Trump, Melania, July 13th of 2024, was assassinated in Pennsylvania, Butler County, Commonwealth State. Commonwealth State was brought into automatic transaction reports from the Social Security Office in Kennewick, Washington. A natural propane company, an 813 Grand Ridge business offices, and Mr. Of course, Bob Ferguson, the governor of Washington State. Bob Ferguson is the governor of Washington State, and bringing automatic transactions from the Social Security Office around Lexington, the mayor of Richland, and have to go down to Richland City Hall and the federal courthouse at 825 Chapman, the federal courthouse in Richland, Washington, and then go to the banks in Richland and Kennewick, and also Richland, Kennewick, and then go get a jet engine for Rhonda Kaiser's funeral home at 831 Pioneer Way, get a transaction history in person, and do a transaction history abstract transaction with the banks and statements at J. Mueller's funeral home at 1401 South Union. Now, 1401 South Union, that says MACC. That's Multi-Agency Communication Centers. Now calling that Service of State Trooper's Office, McKenna Police Department, McKenna Law Firm, from McKenna Law Firm, and then calling the Administration Office, a policy regulation service that was fitted to Administration Office, carrying the Administration Office. Now, the Administration Office carrying this optical wiring and plug-ins and permits, building permits for United States Army base, because the desk, laptop, and policy regulation and service of all the shots and pictures and photos and Administration Office, pouring concrete before the for every such way or reason, bringing electrical wiring and concrete barriers and rock, and bringing in the pictures and fill it in with video confirmation verification service of the United States Army base in Moses Lake, Washington. Now, Larson Air Force Base, this is the Army base, Moses Lake, Washington. See how they put the pictures and the photos and the doorways and the ramifications of a table where we sit at, where Melania Trump, Donald Trump, and the photos the National Guard Army base here in Moses Lake, Washington. And now they simulate of replacing and fill concretes and rock and gutters, of course. Right where they got them is where they're remaining. The gutters, shafts. Putting a garbage can existent in the area of Army base, Moses Lake, Washington. Remember the mailbox, the pre-fascia of Moses Lake Army base. Now the pre-fascia of the Army base here in Moses Lake, Washington, the day of the event of July 13th of 2024, Donald Trump's assassination. The basketball, the baseball, taken into the Army base and policy regulation, how they decommissioned Air Force One. And Donald Trump went to Saudi Arabia, and taking that trip, he made it a contract out of it to protect Saudi Arabia every shipping for, and they nuked Iran. They dropped bombs on it, 3 shipments of bombs, and nuked Iran and blew up their plutonium uranium plant, which they took the blueprints from Hammer Mill in Richland, Washington, where they threatened to nuke Washington. We got the nuclear bomb and dirty bomb here in Moses Lake. We put that in YouTube with the fatigues, Class A uniforms, and also the Washington federal guidelines and Washington state court rules. From day one, we got this mailbox. This entire parking lot with a van and says Army base on it. 2 different vans. And a mailbox. 650-32 36th Avenue Northeast, Station 911, MAC, multiple agencies, CC, East 991. Says Washington National Guard, Soldier, Rotary National Guard, 1-800-GO-GUARD. See the policy regulation of a law firm, McKenna Law Firm, 509-765-4451, fax 509-765-619. Carrying testimony and service to the policy regulation of the Administration Office. And the Administration Office carrying the executive order by Donald J. Trump, the 45th and now 47th President of the United States and Washington Army National Guard, Bravo Company, 1st Battalion, 161st Cab, 3500 36th Avenue, Moses Lake, Washington, 98837. Commander and First Sergeant, 6500, 6500, 36th Avenue, Northeast Moses Lake, Washington, 98837. It's Washington National Guard, Bravo Company, 1st Battalion, 161st Cab. Now, policy regulations that they have. Now, the authorization and policy regulation of a law firm. I placed the administration office at a law firm. Now, the Washington State Army base, the Washington Bar Association here at the Administration Office, carry executive order, policy regulation and service, birth certificate, first name McCann, social security card, the DHS office presenting the official documentary of Donald Trump's assassination, July 13th of 2004. At McCann Law Firm, how they broke the window out. Go to the social security office, get replacements on YouTube. Go to department license number. Department on August 8th at 2:18 p.m. on August 8th of 2025. Now, Donald Trump, Department of License, Department 570, please return ticket until Business is complete today. Number of me called to order and based on type service requested www.dol.gov, September 8th, 2025 at 2:18 p.m. Now Donald Trump, former 35th President of the United States of America, now the 47th President of the United States of America. Since the assassination plot was carried out, the National Guard mostly on video, agencies were recorded, a lot of state troopers were called, and administration officers called, Kennewick Police Department, Kittick City Hall, Richland City Hall, Federal Courthouse, Richland, Washington, 825 Jowden, John F. Kennedy Building, called Bowdoin. And the House Guard Policy Regulation of the Services downloading submitting information, carrying that executive order, carrying that Policy Regulation of the Service Administration Office, and that National Armory, Moses Lake, Washington, hearing that testimony, and the recorded video. As you see, they took that video down. All that video confirmation, verification, and tie back up the DeWalt high-powered impact drill, brushless. Donald Trump, 47th President of the United States, carried the McKenna Law Firm, Policy Regulation and Service. 1835 Senator 32, Bill Gates, former owner of Apple and Microsoft. $20 billion for 20 years straight. And also for 20 years. 1835 Senator Bill Gates, William H. Gates. Apple, and of course, General of the United States Army. Policy Regulation and Service. Donald Trump, Laura Trump, Melania Trump, Eric Trump, Donald Trump Jr., and Tiffany Trump. Wall Street on Central Park. New York, which is Wall Street. Laura Trump, Tiffany Trump, Caitlin C. Trump, born, had her birthday in May of 2025 of this year. She's 18. Policy Regulation of Services, Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, Eric Trump, Donald Trump Jr., Laura Trump, the President primary election, Caitlin C. Trump, and Donald Trump, and Melania Trump. Donald, and this is, of course, Melania Trump. Our YouTube URL confirmation verification of the location, 50th and 52nd First Lady of the United States of America. Ran for the President of the United States primary election again. And 1835 73rd Avenue. Bill Gates, where, of course, John Luke McKinnon drove me all the way back to Bill Gates' estate and mansion area in Medina, King County. Melania Trump and Donald Trump at Oval House, redecorating the Oval House of 2025. 18, this is Pennsylvania, Butler County, where the assassination of July 13th of 2024 was plotted. Right here in Moses Lake Army Base, and this is Air Force One. Air Force One decommissioned, now recommissioned, because Saudi Arabia and the violation of the service of the contract, the NATO Geneva contract, Iran violating those orders and bombing. Nuclear bomb were dropped at Iran and blew up 3 of their compound facilities called the Hammer Mills, which they plotted, the assassination plot of Donald J. Trump. The U.S. Marine Corps of 2024 to 2025. The U.S. Marine Corps of Norman J. Manus and Policy Regulation and the Service Administration Office, and the Policy Regulation and the Service and Policy Regulation of Air Force One, bringing that commission and service of Air Force One. The MSA Policy Regulation and Service Administration Office, carrying that administration office to success. An Army base carries an executive order, a preface of that policy regulation that influenced the society of download from an area location that was done in such a way. Andy Miller, 712 Okanam Place. Social Security Office, 534-76-7791, matches. First name Felix, last name Barela. $11,736.00. McKenna Law Firm, 509-704 East Olive, 509-765-4451, fax 509-765-6019. This is Moses Lake, Washington, 98837, McKenna Law Firm. Washington Farm Bill 4013148, Prosecutor's Office. Andy Miller, West State Prosecutor's Office. State Files 146. State Files 146, 1972, 03475. First name Felix, last name Barela. October 21st, 1970, 10:41 a.m. Born. Richland, Benton County, Washington. Calicosta, Roberta V. Hernandez, Nebraska. Juan Umbrella, Texas. That's Sarah McLean. Bob Ferguson's Governor's Office, Attorney General of Washington, 8127 West Klamath Court, Building 6, Suite 8, Camp Washington, 519-734-7285. Benton County Justice Department, Andy Miller, Washington State Prosecutors, 519-765-4451. Of course, we got the policy regulation of McKenna Law Firm at 519-704 Olive. Unemployment Insurance Active, Tax Registration Active, Insurance Insurance Active. Issue date, December 27, 2004. Unified ID number, McKenna Law Firm, 5 Unemployment Insurance, Insurance Active, Tax Registration Active, Moses Lake, Washington. Business number, business license in Moses Lake, Washington, 1983-03207, active. This is United States Army Base and Policy Regulation Services Administration Office. United States Army Base here in Moses Lake, Washington. After all that, policy regulation, courtrooms, federal courthouse, and also Ryan Letson, Norma Rios, Eric I. Singer, 712 Oakland Place. Confirmation, video confirmation, also the policy regulation, Benton County Justice for a higher court at the federal courthouse, 825 Richland, Washington. The Yacht Club, and also the policy regulation and the service of the federal courthouse, higher court system.